We have actually received a lot of comments on our previous videos regarding my dual screen Android phone. A lot of people saying, oh, I love it. A lot of people saying, why are two screens better than one screen? And that's pretty fair, because in the video, we don't want to make it too long. It was only about 5 minutes or so. We didn't really show as much as we'd like to of what a dual screen Android phone could do. There aren't many of them out there. In fact, as I see it, there are only about 3. None of them are in the North American market of any kind. I mean, no carrier has them. You will have to get them on eBay, Amazon, or online sources. This is my dual screen Android phone. If you haven't seen our last video, the benefit of it is that you can turn it into a full screen experience, as you see here. So everything will kind of run the entire screen. Or you can split it up and do 2 things at once, like browse the internet, open your notepad, so you can look at your bank finances on one side and make notes on the other. We're going to dive in about a couple seconds here to really show you how much more of a benefit it is to have 2 Android screens side by side than just have one big screen. So here's a smartphone with the Amazon Kindle app displaying on the screen. Basically, you have the text, you can long press, make notes and all that. But with a dual screen, you actually can read it almost like a book. It's actually really cool because you can do a 2-column split, so you can read on this side and then read on that side. It makes it really fun and just, I don't know, it's more closely related to that of a book with the bind in the middle and everything. But you can, of course, go to these font settings and choose the single column split instead of the single column instead of 2-column split, and that way you get just the full page again. So this is just one of the advantages of having a dual screen smartphone on a reading of what it looks like to read on a dual screen Android smartphone. Let's look at some other things. This is one of my favorite Android apps for just kind of burning some time. Traffic Racer. It is what it sounds like. You just kind of race through traffic, weaving through traffic. There's oncoming cars. You see I just hit a truck, but we'll restart to try to show you. And the reason I really like this game is because I don't do this in real life, so I can do it in this game. Much like most games. Well, that's like what people do with most games. You can't go on a fabulous adventure through rolling mountains and volcanoes, so you play RPGs. But what I'm trying to say is this is the experience on one of the screens. You can see this is a widescreen game, and this is how the conventional setup to play this game, because it is only in widescreen. So let's look at what it looks like when you crack the screen open and create 2 Android screens side by side. I don't know how this phone does it, but it doesn't matter what app you use in single mode or dual screen mode, it always knows how to perfectly conform to that mode. And you can see that before this is a widescreen game, but now it's almost fitting perfectly in a square with no stretching issues. It's almost as if they made it so that if they did have a dual screen Android phone, that it would work perfectly. And this is the experience with both of the screens open. Now you might be saying, oh, that black bar in the middle is a little annoying. I thought so too when I first had the game, but phone, but honestly, after a couple days of playing it, you don't really notice it. It actually doesn't get in the way. It's just kind of, your mind just kind of blurs it out. But yeah, I mean, this game works perfectly in single screen mode or in dual screen mode, and I was very impressed because this phone seems to know how to conform each and every app to a dual screen setup or a single screen setup with minimal issues. The only issue sometimes is that when you flip it into dual screen or single screen, it lags a little bit because it has to kind of orientate itself to the next thing it's going to do. But the gaming experience is unhindered by this, and everything works flawlessly, and the screens, neither of the screens are slower or faster than each other, so they work fine. Maps is another app that I think really comes in handy with 2 screens. It makes it so much easier to just you know, view a really wide area at once, and you really get an idea of where you're going. And you can touch both sides of the screen. So for example, when you pinch and zoom something, you pinch and zoom conventionally like this, whereas on this phone you can actually command one side to do one thing and the other side to do another thing, and it still recognizes the entire surface as a touchable area. And if you're wondering if you can cross this barrier and still swipe, you can. It does carry on, even though it loses your touch in the middle, for example like this. And it even acts as a touchable surface, so you can actually move right past it, move up and down, and carry on. So it's kind of cool. And what else could we do? We can spiral the map like this. So it's really cool. This is once again, maps. I really think the dual screen phone, it shines on it. Web browsing is awesome too. You get the full screen, you can pinch and zoom. I mean, it makes everything so much easier, especially when you're at like a dinner or something. You can really just put this on the middle of the table and everyone will go, wow, that's so cool. And I know that you can do the same thing with a tablet, but once you're done with this full experience like this, you just crack it in half and then you're back to your single phone. And it instantly, as you saw that on camera there, it just instantly went back to a single mode. And when you open it up, it just expands back. It's very fast for knowing, kind of finding out what to do with what application you're using. It just kind of, it figures it out really quickly. And another thing is cool is that when you open the keyboard, you have a very wide keyboard space. And like we showed you in the maps, you can touch the center piece to, you know, get G, for example. And if you turn it like this, you get the entire bottom screen dedicated to your keyboard. And you can still scroll this up and down, and then crack the keyboard open again and start typing away. Really good for web browsing. Highly recommended. This is the second coolest thing I like about this phone. The first coolest thing I like about this phone I'll show you in the last part before we wrap up this video. On the right, you see I have the Goody Reader App Store open with the web browser. On the left, I actually have my notepad here, so I can always start typing stuff like Goody Reader rocks. And how this is beneficial is that maybe you're looking at your bank financials on one side, and then on the other side you can type in, you know, all the amounts and all that using your notepad, calculator, or whatever, and they both work all the time. So this banner, we're a little slideshow here, will keep kind of circulating through everything, even though this is open and you're typing stuff on this side. So that's a big benefit to this. And you can also go back and do other things while you have your browser or anything else open. So you really have the two functions at once. So you can move this around and say, oh, I want to go open my calculator now and figure out something over here. And all the time you have your browser here, and you can go to Google, or it's just endless possibilities of being able to do two things at once on two dedicated separate touchscreens. I think this is easily my second favorite thing. This is the favorite thing. This is my favorite thing about this phone, is that you have Sonic on one side, like so, and you can bring it over to the other side. So you can actually have two videos playing at once. So you can perch this at a dinner table. And actually, I was at a birthday party yesterday, and I was like, look at this vid. So I just went like this, boom, and they were watching here and I was watching here. And it's really cool because you can even close it and it'll be like the same thing on both sides. See, like playing flawlessly, I might add, with full control on either touch panel. And I mean, nothing is lagging, and you can just kind of, like, you know, from my perspective, hold it up like this, and someone can look at the video from here, and you can look here and go, look at this, so everyone doesn't kind of have to crowd around on one side. So all in all, I think that having a dual screen Android phone really opens up tons of possibilities with doing multitasking and you know, just kind of having, and I know, like I said before, Samsung tablets now have that kind of multitasking where you can drag things on either side of the screen, but I mean, you can just do so many more cool things with this phone, having a screen on the front and a screen on the back. Like, for example, another thing, when you're getting a call, cool animations show up while you're getting a call and while you're in a call. So this has just been a second look at the Docomo NEC Medias W N-05e smartphone for goodyreader.com. This is Peter. Everyone have a great day. So far, a few people have actually asked where they can get the Docomo NEC Medias W N-05e. This guy right here. We have helped out a couple people actually find theirs. I don't know if they've actually bought it yet, but people seem really interested because I think this is a great idea. People should do more of dual screen Android phones. You can do so much. You can do so much with it, so much more with it than you can with one big screen. Now I know some of the new Samsung tablets have that kind of split screen multi thing, but it's kind of cool when you can fold it in half like that. Look at that. See? You can do like this. You can close it. It makes a really cool noise when you close it. Listen, listen. Ah. Nice. Yes, so that was the NEC Medias phone, what you can do, and kind of like a second look of what you can do. I've touched up my hair, for all you that care. I have touched up the roots and I've given it a little bit of a cut down because it was getting a little bushy. Subscribe to our channel. Comment on this video. Let us know if there's any comparisons you guys want, reviews, I don't know, anything. Just we're doing a bunch of PDF experience videos. Just, you know, we're diving a little bit diving in deeper to the tablets we already own and we already love. So keep watching Goody Reader #1. And thank you, by the way. I forgot to do this. Thank you.